started. Today was the day that the Pro Bowl was announced. I know someone talked about how they don't want to hear about the Pro Bowl because the Niners are going to the Super Bowl, but that's today's news. And today, 49ers were voted to the Pro Bowl. The list is Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Fred Warner, Charvarius Ward, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, and Javon Hargrave. So obviously a star-studded list, and the Niners are a star-studded team, but there are a few names that aren't on that list that I think should be. I think that the two that you can make an argument for are Brandon Ayuk and Dre Greenlaw. But specifically Brandon Ayuk, who's been having a great year. Brandon Ayuk, who leads the NFL with 18.3 yards per catch on average, has the second highest PFF grade, has the second highest passer rating when targeted, has the most first downs in the league, or has 59 first downs on 72 receptions, and is fourth in the NFL among receivers in EPA per play. What did you think of the Pro Bowlers who made it, who didn't make it, and who do you think got snubbed?
Well, okay, so the Niners got 9, right? And I think I was looking at the list and the possibilities. I was thinking they're going to get 10 for sure. They might get 12 or 13. So in addition to those 9, Brandon Ayuk, Eric Armstead, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Oren Burks, Dre Greenlaw, Diamador Lenore, Colton McKivitz, Tabor Pepper, Debo Samuel, Mitch Wishnowsky, and Chase Young were selected as alternates. The team's 9 Pro Bowlers, that's the most in the NFL, and the most a team has had since 9 players were selected to the 2013 Pro Bowl. I mean, okay, a couple things jump out. I mean, one, obviously, Ayuk and Greenlaw got snubbed. I'll say this about Ayuk. There's a lot of big-time receivers. I don't understand why Dre Greenlaw year after year after year keeps getting snubbed. Guess how many Pro Bowls Dre Greenlaw has made in his career?
It's 0, right?
None.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I almost, if I had one more question today of Shanahan, I was going to ask him, but I didn't want to speak negativity into the ether. I was going to say, hey, Dre Greenlaw is going to miss the Pro Bowl. Make your argument for why he's a Pro Bowler. And he would have, I'm sure, made a very compelling argument of why Dre's a Pro Bowler. Instead, I didn't ask that question. I kind of ran out of, I asked a couple other questions today, so I didn't get that one in. I don't understand why. What does Fred Warner do that Dre Greenlaw doesn't do? Dre Greenlaw is a hard hitter. He's an intimidator. He's like the number one most important guy to the Niner run D, I think. He's a tone setter. He's an intimidator. He's a big time hitter. I don't understand why Greenlaw continually gets snubbed. And Ayuk, I know there's a lot of good receivers. But I mean, and then I guess what does it take to go from an alternate to a Pro Bowler? Somebody's got to miss. Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, that's the kind of the confusion is that this year there's no game. So it doesn't really make.
There is no game? I thought last year there was no game, but this year there was a game.
It's like a flag football game, I believe. So there's a little bit of confusion. I think it'd be if someone were to defer because of playoffs out of the Pro Bowl. Like, you know how there are certain Pro Bowl quarterbacks, and then like we ended up with Tyler Huntley as the quarterback somehow of the Pro Bowl because all quarterbacks deferred. I'm thinking that if people were to defer, or I'm not sure if defer is the right word, but get out of it somehow, that the alternates would then step up. So I guess that's what that means. But in this case, if Fred Warner's missing, I'm sure Drake Greenlaw's also missing,
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it other than both those guys deserved it. The other thing that, I was a little surprised that, so Colton McKivitz is a Pro Bowl alternate. I mean, I'm happy for Colton, and tomorrow when I walk by his locker, I'll probably do an interview with him just to talk about it. I'm happy for him. But Oren Burks, is a Pro Bowl alternate? Is that a special teamer? Is that on special teams?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of put out a little bit of a hater tweet today because I saw, I think Brad Graham put out the list of the Niners that were ranked in the top 10 for their position, and the entire 49ers offensive line, which is the 22nd worst offensive line in the NFL, was in the top 10, including Colt McKivitz, who just made an alternate position, who everyone in the fan base can agree has been a very weak link on the offensive line. So,
well, is that fan voting?
Yeah, I think so. I'm
okay. So then I also saw, I don't know if you saw this, Kev, the 49ers, the number one vote getter among all the fans was Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And the 49ers were far and away the number one vote getting team as a franchise. So what do you make of that? Is it just that 49er fans vote early, vote often? I mean, what do you make of Brock Purdy as the top vote getter in the league? Not Mahomes, not Tyreek Hill, not Lamar, but Brock Purdy. Does that just mean that 49er fans have a lot of free time on their hands? I mean, the Niners do travel better than any other team in pro football. They pack the house on the road better than the Steelers fans, better than the Cowboys fans, better than the Packers fans. Niners fans pack the house. They turn their road games into virtual home games. Is it just the iconic status of the 49ers as a fandom, as a franchise that is making Colton McKivitz a Pro Bowl alternate, Brock Purdy the leading vote getter, Spencer Burford I think might have been even a top 10 vote getter? What do you give me your reasoning on this?
Well, I'm looking it up right now because I wasn't exactly sure how it worked because honestly, the Pro Bowl has been pretty much irrelevant besides just the title of the award almost as like for years now. But the vote is a combination of fans, coaches, and players. So I'm not sure what the split is, but I would not be surprised at all if the Niners just absolutely demolished in the fan voting just because, I mean, you see that every game. The 49ers have fans traveling with them everywhere they go. The Cardinals games are home games. The Ram games are home games, So I'm not shocked at all that they got a ton of votes. They're a great team. And Brock Purdy specifically getting the most votes in the NFL, it really shouldn't be a shock either. He's been dominating. He's been leading the league, and he has the most stats in his favor at the quarterback position. And I think people are just voting that way.
Chris Azorno says Brock Purdy's just a likable guy, humble to the bone.
It's true.
Baller's in the house. What's up, Baller? Long time no talk. He says Brendel wanted a Pro Bowl bad. Guy was tweeting every other day to vote. It's our fan base. We travel, we vote, we buy gear, all that. It's amazing. I mean, I'll say this. It's good to see. It's good to see. It is amazing to me, though, that Brock Purdy, who a lot of people in the media don't even think so legitimate, didn't belong on the MVP list, that he gets the most votes of any player in the entire league for the Pro Bowl.
I mean, he's a likable guy. He's playing great. I really just think it's, if you look at the offensive line, you say, oh, Trent Williams, yeah, no doubt. You see Aaron Banks, like, oh, yeah, he's been pretty good. He's been really good. And then you see Brendel, like, okay, that I guess that makes sense. He was there last year.
Yeah, he was the Pro Bowl alternate last year.
He was there last year. That makes sense. And then you see Burford, you're like, wait, Burford? Doesn't he lead the Niners in penalties and is being benched for Feliciano? And it's like McKivitz. McKivitz leads the team in sacks allowed and pressures allowed, and has one of the and Burford has one of the lowest passer rating or passer grades on PFF in the entire league. So that's just a little bit. That's where I was a little bit confused. I'm like, okay, so this has to be just fan voting, because I don't think you could really look at the tape and say that guy is better than 32 other guards, or
Well, I'll say this though, a lot of guys have it in their contract that they get bonuses based on this. I don't know if you've seen that at all, or if there's anybody, if you know any of the contract statuses of any of the 49er players, but how about that? I mean, Could you imagine if suddenly, you're Colton McKivitz and you've got Pro Bowl alternate status and you get like a $50,000 or $100,000 bonus? I mean, it's
Yeah,
wow.
no, it's great for them. I'm not saying that it should be ripped away from them. I'm just saying, I don't know.
You're
Look
just
at the
saying that the Niner fans are out there in
yeah,
force.
yeah. But I mean, really, what I wanted to highlight is that Brandon Ayuk is having a great season and is definitely one of the best
Who are
wide
the Pro Bowl
receivers.
receivers?
The Pro Bowl receivers are AJ Brown, Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nacua.
Okay, CeeDee Lamb, I get it. Puka Nacua, I get it. Mike Evans? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. That Mike
Brandon
Evans is a
Ayuk
stretch.
deserves it over Mike Evans.
Yeah, I think I think it must be touchdowns. I think that the fan vote is.
Oh.
I think that Mike
Hmm.
Evans. I mean, actually, before I speak on that, how many touchdowns does Mike Evans have?
I
I
don't
think
know.
he has more.
But this goes to my whole point earlier in the year when I said at the halfway point of the season when Ayuk had 2 touchdowns that it was a little disappointing. Maybe the Pro Bowl voters, I don't know, agreed with me.
Yeah, but I'm not really agreeing with you either, though, because like touchdowns is just one stat. It's too hard to, or it's too easy just to be like, all right, let's. There wouldn't be a vote if it was just based on how many touchdowns you get. But Brandon Ayuk is just, you see it. He's making great plays down the field. He leads the NFL in yards per reception. He's making huge plays all the time. I just personally think he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl.
By the way, Calba Kamiga says, congrats to Brock Purdy. Making the Pro Bowl gives him a level 3 PPE, which means his 2025 salary escalates from 1.1 million to about 4.8 million. Still a bargain. Is that true? No, that can't be true. Is that true? You think that's true?
I mean, that makes sense. If you make the Pro Bowl, you might get a little bonus or something.
Little
But
bonus?
I haven't looked into that.
Look at this one from D Daddy. D Daddy says, The Krug Show. Hey guys, I love the channel. Today is my wife and her boyfriend's anniversary. Can I get a shout out? That kind of makes me laugh.
Shout him out. Shout him out.
Well, hey, congratulations to your wife and her boyfriend. But you're not her boyfriend? We need an explanation there.
So Mike Evans has 13 touchdowns, and I believe
Ayuk's got like 7. Right?
He has 7.
Yeah.
So, but that's not right. Is that right? Is it a touchdown award?
I don't know, but that's a big disparity. That's almost double.
Yeah.
Last I checked, 13 was almost double 7. I went to Sac State. All right. Don't
Smart guy.
I can go 7 times 2 with the best of them. I'll tell you that. I'll do this all night long. You want 8 times 2, 16. You want 10 times 2, that's 20. I can go all night.